Hello, this is SMS and this is question number 6 of June 2025, paper 1. This question is from the chapter of binomial expansion. And for the first part of the question asks us to show that root over 4 minus x is equivalent to a bracket 1 minus x by b bracket to the power half, where a and b are integers to be found. So for part A, we have been given an expression which is root over 4 minus x. So this expression we have to express it in the form of a bracket 1 minus x by b to the power of half. Okay, so as you can see, this expression that we have been given 4 minus x can also be written as in this form, so 4 minus x to the power half, and this is in the form of what I say is a plus bx to the power d, the usual form that the binomial expressions are usually given in, the expressions that are used for binomial expansions are given in. Here a is not equals to 1, a is equals to 4. So, but if you see in the expression that is being asked us to actually show, that we are asked us to show, there is a 1 here. And the coefficient of x here is negative 1 by b. Okay, so at first here we have to make this a equals 1, so this 4 has to become a 1 here. The first thing that we do in a simple binomial expression where a is not equals to 1 is that we factor the a out. So we factor the a out from the expression. So when I do that, so a bracket 1 plus b, b by a x whole to the power d. And now this can be written as a to the power d bracket 1 plus b by a x to the power d. So I simply multiplied the power d with the power of a, which is 1, and with the power of 1 plus b by ax, which is also 1. So I multiplied d with the powers of these two multiples. Now, for the given expression, which is 4 minus x to the power half, if I take the a out, here in our case the a is 4, the b is negative 1, and d is half. So if I take the a out, so if I'm taking the a out, plus b is negative 1, so this can be written as negative 1 by a is 4 again, bracket close, whole to the power d, d is half. And this can be simplified further into 4 bracket 1 minus, sorry, there would be a x, so 1 minus 1 by 4x to the power whole power of half. Now if I just bring the power to the top of the multiples, which is 4 to the power half, bracket 1 minus 1 by 4 x to the power half. Now 4 to the power half can also be written as root over of 4, 1 minus 1 by 4x to the power of half. And root over 4 is simply 2. 1 minus 1 by 4x to the power of half. You don't have to consider the negative value that the root over gives, because if you do like -2 here, then you actually won't be getting this expression. So that's only possible if the root over 4 gives a positive expression. Now, we are asked not only to show it, but we have to find the value of a and b as well. So if I just write it in this way, with this color, so a bracket 1 minus 1 by b x to the power of half, right? And a, if you just simplify this, a is equals to 2. 1 by b, -1 by b is equivalent to -1 by 4. So b is equals to 4. So you can just say that a is equals to 2 and b is equals to 4. Okay. Now for the part B of the question, hence expand root over 4 minus x in ascending powers of x include up to and including the term in x cube, give each coefficient as an exact fraction in its lowest term. So for part B of the question, so they have access to expand 4 minus x, and we know 4 minus x to be 2 bracket 1 minus 1 by 4x to the power half. And this is actually in the form of a to the power d bracket 1 minus b by ax to the power d, right? We got this expression from here, right? So, and when an expression is in the form of this a to the power d bracket 1 minus b by ax to the power d, the expansion would look somewhat like this. At first we'll write 1. So at first we'll write the constant a to the power d bracket 1 plus d multiplied by, sorry, it's in the form of a to the power d bracket 1 plus b by ax to the power d, and b by a is -1 by half, and this is then b by ax plus d multiplied by d minus 1 divided by 2 multiplied by 1 divided by b by ax whole square plus d multiplied by d minus 1 multiplied by d minus 2 divided by 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 1 multiplied by b by a x to the power 3. Okay, let me write that here. B by x whole cube. So if you look at that, the d's are constantly decreasing, and the denominator here is increasing, and the power of b by ax is also increasing. Here it was 1, 2 and 3. So in our case, a to the power d is 2, b by a is -1 by 4, and d is just half. So we can simply just substitute those values in the formula. So for the given expression here, wait, let's just zoom out a bit. Yeah. So for 2 plus 2 minus 1 by 4x to the power half, this can be written as 2 a to the power d is just 2 1 plus b by a is negative 1 by 4x plus d is half, so half multiplied by 1 by 2 minus 1 by multiplied by b by a is negative 1 by 4 x whole square plus negative 1 by x cubed, and then if I do the expansion of this here, so 1 by x to the power x, 1 by 4 x to the power of half, then this would just be 2 multiplied by 1, and this would be negative 1 by 8x. And if you put all this in the calculator, half multiplied by half minus 1 divided by 2 multiplied by negative 1 by 4 x whole square, then you will get a value of negative 1 by 128 x squared. And then if you put this in the calculator, half multiplied by half minus 1 multiplied by half minus 2 divided by 6 multiplied by, sorry, there I missed x, so this would be negative 1 by 4 x whole cube. Then this would be, you'll get a value of positive 1 by 1024 x cube. So then this would be, if you just multiply this right now, then this will be 2 multiplied by 1 is just 2, and negative 2 multiplied by negative 1 by 8 is negative 1 by 4x. 2 multiplied by negative 1 by 128x squared is negative x squared by 64. And 2 multiplied by positive 1 by 1024 x cube is negative, I think I did, wait. Let me just double check this in my calculator. Whether this will be positive 1 by 1024 or negative 1 by, no, negative 1 by 1024. So 0 0.5, 0 0.5 minus 1, 0 0.5 minus 2 divided by 6 multiplied by negative 1 by 4 whole cube is negative. So yeah, I wrote it wrong here. So this will be negative. So negative, so it's negative 1 0, and if you multiply this, then this will be x cube divided by 512. Okay. I'm sorry for the mistake there. I double checked it. So this is the expansion that they wanted us to to show and give each coefficient as an exact fraction in its lowest term. This means that when you have a fraction like for example 2 by 4 is a fraction, but this is not in its lowest term because 2 and 4 are divisible, and this can be even like factored more. It can be cancelled. 2 and 4 can be cancelled, and you can write it as 1 by 2 as well. So the lowest term means that the denominator and the numerator should have values that does not cancel themselves out, or that are not multiple of themselves or divisible. For part C of the question, use the expansion with a suitable value of x to obtain an estimate of root over of 305 divided by 10. So use your expansion with a suitable value of x to obtain an estimate for this. You can't just simply put this in your calculator and give an answer for that. You won't get a mark. What you have to do is you have to make this thing look like this. Simply look like this, and then find the value of x for which this thing will become this thing, and put that value of x in the expansion that you found in part B. Okay, so at first you have to make these two look alike so that you can equate them and find this x value for which this root over 4 minus x will be equal to root over 305 by 10. At first you need to make root over 305 by 10 look alike. Otherwise, you can't just assume that they will be equal. You have to make it look alike. So, we have been given at first 4 minus x, and now we have root over 0 by 10. What we can do is we can bring this into one single root or one single square root here. So in order to do that, this can also be written as 305, right? And the denominator can also be written as root over of 100, right? The reason why I'm doing this is that so to bring it under one single square root, not like in a fraction form. I don't want it to be in a fraction form. And this thing can be further written as 305 by 100, right? Because we know, for example, root over of a by root over of b can be written as a single root of a by b, right? Now, this can be 305 by 100 is simply root over of 3.05. And if you see, this thing right now looks very much alike to this. Now we need to find the value of x for which this 4 minus x will be equal to 3.05. So we need to find the value of x for which 4 minus x equals to 3.05. So to be equal, what will be the value of x? So we can just equate. So 4 minus 3.05, we'll bring the 3.05 to the left hand side, and the negative x to the right hand side, it becomes positive x. So x would be 0.95. Okay. So if x is 0.95, then 4 root over 4 minus x is equals to root over of 3.05. Okay, and 3.05 is equals to root over 3.05 is equals to this. Now, we know 4 minus x is equals to 2 minus 1 by 4x minus 1 by 64x squared minus 1 by 512x cubed, right? And we know in order for root over 4 minus x to be equals to root over 3.05, x has to be 0.95, right? Now if I substitute x with 0.95 in all these parts on the right hand side as well, then we'll actually get the value of root over 0.5. So 1 by 64, 0.95 by 512. So this will become 3.05, and if you put all this in a calculator, then you will get the value to be 1.74672. Let me rewrite it in a better way. 1.74672. And we know 3 root over 3.05 is actually equals to this. And this is the value that they have access to find, the value of root over 305 by 10. So we can just say in the next line that root over 305 by 10 is equals to 1.74672, and they have access to give it in 5 decimal places, and this is in 5 dp. I hope I was able to make you guys understand this question. If you have any queries, please leave down in the comments. Thank you.